What's up, YouTube? My name is Super Villain Low of One Lonely Robot Productions, and I'm bringing to you a slow motion tips and tricks tutorial. If you haven't seen the first slow motion tutorial, it should be popping up here. Okay, so I take it the rest of you guys have seen that tutorial. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, tip number one is going to be your arm swings. Okay, now whenever you're swinging your arms, like the key thing, like I talked about in the first tutorial, is making sure that your arms move with your legs. Okay, so if your legs are moving one speed, your arms need to be moving the same speed, just to really add to the effect. Okay, now once you actually get that accomplished, the next thing you can do is there's some little tweaks that you can do that will actually that'll actually really add to the effect and make it look like that you're walking. Okay, so the first step is whenever you're walking, don't forget that you can add like a little bounce to your walk. Okay. Now when you add this little bounce to your walk, what you're doing is you're going forward, and once you take that step, this back knee back here will actually drop down. Okay, so it gives it a little bounce to your step. You can also add a slight pop too, and that will also give you that effect too, as there's motion. So like a slight pop with my arms. Okay. Another thing that you can do with your arms is you want to make sure that you can actually add like a slight bounce. Okay, this might be something I can show better forward. Okay, so as I'm walking, arms come up, they go down, they don't go down all the way, then they go back up, then they go down again. Okay, so arms are going up, go down, down, down. Okay, and at this point, they don't go down all the way. I'm not relaxed like this, but they're like this because I'm in a walking motion. Okay, then they go right back up, and then down again. Okay, so what you're doing is you want to get that little bounce. So you should be getting something that looks similar to this. And basically what this is, another way to explain it, it's almost like my elbow is dropping. And there's a slight pop right here in my movement. So you see it? Bam, slight pop. So as I'm walking, okay, so don't be afraid to do just real slight pops. So really tense or slightly tense the bicep muscles, and that'll really add to the effect. Okay, so now we have our arm swings down. Next thing that we want to focus on is we want to focus on details. So we want to focus on things like our hand movements. Okay, your hand movements. And what I mean by this is whenever you're walking, think of it as more realistic. Think of it as realistic. You want to be realistic when you're slow motion, or if your style is not that, then skip this and go to the next part. But for more realistic slow motion, what you really want to do is focus on the details. Focus on things like moving your hands. So as you're moving in slow motion, you can do things like move your hands, open and close your hands. Because think about it as like if you're normally walking. If you're walking, you're probably not walking all the time with just your fist balled up. So as you're walking, just think of different things you can do with your hands. Or even if you're just standing still and you're in slow motion. Okay? There's just different things that you can do with your hands. The next thing you want to focus on is focus on your eye movements. We said the same thing when you're roboting in the body control tutorial, but in this one, you can still focus on your eye movements. It still holds true to the same thing. Okay? You're actually getting into character. So focus on your eye movements, and what I mean by this is as you're walking, basically you try to blink slowly. Okay? And that will also add to the effect too that you are in slow motion. Okay? And the final tip I'm going to give you guys is with your head movements, your head or neck, whatever you want to call it. And what this is, I actually add a slight bounce to it as I'm walking too. Because if you think about it, when you're walking, your head is just not like perfectly stiff, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is as I'm walking, I add like just a slight bounce. So what I'm doing, let me go forward so you can see, is once I get to this part, this is where normally the bounce will come in, my head will turn slightly, like real slow. Not doing one of these, just slightly like this. So slight. You see that little bounce right there? That's actually what you're looking for. And that will really help you really help sell the effect. Hey guys, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. Hopefully it was helpful. Hope that you learned a lot. If you didn't, make sure you comment. Let me know too. Let me know if there's things I missed or there's other things that you want to know. Also, just recently uploaded a video, so that way, if you guys want me to basically either critique you or if you just want me to answer some of your questions that you have, send it to me in a message. You can actually add me on Facebook, facebook.com/LotharioESV. You can also find me on Twitter, Twitter @SuperVillainLow. I will read your questions. You can at me, Facebook me, send me a message, or hey, critique my video. And if you'd like me to, of course, let me know. I'll make sure to answer your questions on here in my next video. So, sounds cool. Also, last thing, I want to shout out to Chessmate TV. Really talented guy. Definitely talked to him the other night for some different advice, things like that for the channel. Really talented guy, so I want you guys to actually just go to his channel. It's not necessarily dance oriented quite yet, but he does have some comedy things, real funny. So make sure you guys go check that out. Also, thank you guys again for watching. I'm Lothario of ESV, and I'm out.